It was definitely a checking to see how things were going sesh, because I have not played a dedicated session versus a Falco in a fat minute, so wanted to
Yeah.
see where I was at.
And where are you at right now?
Um, I feel like I'm in a pretty like decent spot. There's like I think a lot of shit in neutral that's still like tricking me up, or I fall into the same lazy habits of dashing back at like particular ranges that makes it easy for Falco to hit me, or there's some laser shenanigans that I don't know how to interact with necessarily. Like,
Give me an
um,
example. Do you have the SLPs?
I have plenty of SLPs.
Perfect.
Yes.
Send some my way. Let's dig into this because I think that this will be. I think it'll be good to have some examples to pick apart.
Cool. Just give me 1 sec because it takes forever to load all my SLPs. I know off the top of my head a particular laser shenanigan that I struggle to deal with is like, or interact with per se, is when Falco is in the corner and he runs off the stage and comes back up on the stage with like a double laser.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know necessarily how to deal with that or just interact with it or if I should be leaving it alone. Um let's see. I'll grab I guess the first 5 games of the session.
Oh, so like okay, so he'll basically do like run off, double jump up with double laser, basically. Like that's a big one.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
when that happens, how close are you?
I definitely tend to be like center stage, like in a spot where I can't necessarily punish it, but I have encountered Falcos that will just spam it. Like they'll just keep doing it, and I don't necessarily know how to interact with it. But Joey Donuts didn't really spam it. He would just kind of do it to like throw off my rhythm and like just throw it in there.
Gotcha. So it's like this shit. It's like this shit, basically.
Yeah.
So one thing
Exactly.
one thing I'd say is that the first laser is almost always higher than the second one.
Mhm.
So just running under the first one is like not a bad idea.
Right.
You can also block and attack at a shield on them, because like a block and attack between them if you're close enough. Because like it's kind of like how it's like punishing double lasers like in any situation. You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
gonna be, it's usually easier. Like we can. There's a lot of ways to deal with it, but they all involve us being like any laser strat. They all involve us being like sort of close-ish. Although because they tend to like fire in that spread with like the first one coming out higher, that's actually a spot where crouch power shielding can be a pretty reasonable way to like combat it as well. Like if you attempted to crouch power shield, what usually happened? Do you recall or?
In that particular spot, I actually didn't try to crouch power shield it ever. So I am very like my knowledge of neutral in this matchup, like when I should try attempting for power shields, which power shield I should try and set up for, how to like necessarily interact with these lasers. I feel like I'm just like throwing things at the wall to see what's gonna stick in the moment. I don't necessarily know how to look for things, and like there you see like I did like a crouch power shield attempt, although laser was 30 feet above me, and it's like it just feels like I'm grasping at straws when I try to interact with this character in neutral.
So far so good. So let's slow this down then. Let's go through this a little bit more slowly. From what I can see so far, you have the right idea about some things. Like I do think that there is some amount of gambling that is required in this matchup. In terms of like which power shield to go for, let's see here. So you go for like this crouch power shield. See, I wouldn't consider this necessarily like this big of a loss though, because like the way that the spot that you're creating afterwards is you're at the peak of your jump when he's like advancing, right? So then you have like a very good a reasonable take laser fair available to you, which you wind up like getting. So the other thing like I would consider here is when you're like hovering in the air here after this power shield attempt has gone awry. Maybe there's something more we can do with our jump here. So like we go for it. We're in the air. Like one thing I would consider is like why not just double jump to the platform?
Right. Yeah. double jump waveland would be good.
Yeah, we could waveland forward, we could waveland in place, we could waveland back. If we wanted to, like, we could double jump forward, waveland back, so we come off the platform more slowly. And then the idea there would be, like, maybe we can get that fair on him still. But, like, either way, like, boarding this platform is a pretty reasonable position to be in against most of Falco's things. Like, if let's say that he continues to do what he did, right? And, like, the only difference is that, like, we're here. If we go onto this, if we go onto this platform at this point, what happened? What do we think about the position that we've created as a result of this?
I mean, it becomes a little. It definitely becomes more difficult for Falco to challenge me, because he doesn't really have great ways of like hitting me on the platform. So it gives me room to breathe. It gives me access to the top platform if I want to now introduce that into my coming down mix-ups. It allows me to.
So do you think we go forward or where do you think we waveland? Do you think we waveland forward generally, waveland back? What are your thoughts?
I do think that generally we're wavelanding forward here.
Okay.
I think the main goal here is to try and get center stage or close to it. Yeah.
Once we go to this spot, because we're gonna wind up here, what do you think? What do you think about us turning around here, so we're facing this way?
That could be pretty good, and it sets up for the reverse swing of down air to be able to connect a little bit easier.
Well, what I'm thinking here is
if
he's jumping into the corner with another laser, right? So what I'm thinking here is he's gonna wind up in like. Maybe he's going to wind up somewhere around here-ish at the end when all's said and done. I don't know exactly where because he has drift, but, like, he's going to wind up somewhere in this general vicinity, right? So, like, what I'm thinking here is by us being here and facing him, if we face him, we can easily then, like, you know, dash forward, wave dash back into fair to, like, block the space off. We could just shield drop down with fair.
Right.
We have pretty reasonable options. You mentioned down air. I really like down air with him being at 0 because he's likely to try to CC us. And then that can create a pretty favorable mix-up for us to, like, potentially find that grab. So, like, I think that, like, what we're really trying to do is, like, it flips the situation on him. Right? Because, like, all of a sudden now we're the pressuring character.
Right.
And I think that this is really, like, the name of the game versus Falco. We're trying to find ways of working around him. Like, Falco commits a lot more than the other top tiers do, believe it or not. Because he has to like, do a 13-frame commitment plus a jump in order for him to establish his neutral game. There's no way he can function without the lasers, you know? So, like, with that in mind... Like, how do we make those work against him? And the question, and a lot of the times it's like, how do we go around him in good ways?
Okay.
Power shields are nice. Partly, oh my god, that was such a good fair. Part of the strength of power shields is that they kind of like they represent a way that we can flip the situation on him, but like they are not the only way that we can flip the situation on him.
Okay.
Yeah. If in general with Marth, something you've probably... Ooh, interesting. So what happened here?
I think in that moment, I was like, I don't want to take that down air, but in most cases, I'm going to try and take that down air.
So you just felt bad for him because he messed up?
Yeah, it's probably a pretty bad habit to be doing that in friendlies, but when I'm like playing a session versus someone, like, I have this like little block in my head where I'm like, they messed up. If it's tournament, I'd take it, but here I just can't bring myself to.
That's fine. As long as I know what's going on, like that, I don't have a problem with that. One thing I would comment here, though, is you're saying down air.
So, down air, or what I've been doing a lot lately is just letting go of the ledge using back on the gray stick, and then I would do like an instant fair.
Yeah, I was gonna say this to me looks like we just knock Falco below the stage. And then just time our roll when he comes up forward, and then he's like always dead. The other thing that makes some amount of sense to me is ledge hop counter.
Oh, true. Yeah.
There's like 8 things that kill him here, so like I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna worry about which one.
With a lot of moves.
Yeah. You have like 4 things that like always lead to instant death, like guaranteed death, and like 3 more that are bad, but people will do. Three that are less guaranteed, but people will do. So let's see here. So back up. Okay, you get this dash away power shield. I notice it looks like we're not really ready to do anything with it. So like, the thing about dash away power shield and why I don't like it a lot of the time is that like, well, it works. You see how we have like a really awkward situation to work with now because we're facing away from Valko.
Yeah.
So like, do you find like I would almost wonder, what if we like, let's see here, what was the alignment of you two going into this? So you kind of like had to dash away here. I think when you get these power shields, we need to make a decision on whether or not we're attacking out of this or whether or not we're like, or whether we like reset to neutral. But like this, we need a decision here. What do you think makes more sense in this situation?
I think resetting to neutral makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm. How do we go about doing that?
I mean, the two big things that come to mind are like instant wave dash out of shield, probably away from Falco, or just jumping and wave landing on the platform right there. I would be hesitant to go through him, facing the risk of like Shine.
Yeah, Shine's a pretty reasonable panic button for him to push here. I agree with your assessment. The other one that makes some amount of sense, and this will sound stupid. This might sound stupid, but I'm going to throw it out anyway. Roll. Just rolling through him.
Okay.
Because, like, to me, like, we can go here. I don't think that this is the play here. I don't like this. But, like, I think that your two plays make way more sense than this, but it is an option. So I think that we either do this or we do this. Which one appeals more?
I think this is one of those instances where going to the platform is probably going to be a little bit more favorable.
Mm-hmm. And why is that?
I feel like if we were to wave dash out of shield and just put ourselves further into the corner, by that point he's already recovered from the laser lag and he kind of just gets to pressure us for free. But if we're on the platform again, he just struggles to challenge us, and it'll be more difficult for him to apply that pressure. So
Correct.
We have better ways of maneuvering.
Correct. So I would agree with that completely. I would say that there's no reason. I would say that there's very little reason for me to go into the corner here. The other thing that I would comment is that, like, if you decide to break up your movement a little bit, so, like, let's say instead of going full hopping to the platform, you decide to short hop instead, right? So you, like, how that would look is, like, you maybe go over here, right? Because you can still double jump to the platform, like, into Waveland to, like, get there, so you're not really, like, losing that either. What I would say is nice about this is that you're keeping the option to attack him open if you wanted to say back air.
Okay.
Because, like, this gives you, like, the ability to, like, ward him off. I don't know if it knocks him over at 26. My gut says it doesn't. But, like, hypothetically, if it did, or if he was, like, even a smidge higher, you can see how that might be useful, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because it's like we then can ward him off a little bit more. I'm actually curious now. Would this like, I'm almost positive it doesn't, but when is the knockdown on this? So on IV, it's close. It's 33.
33. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. So tipped bear 33. So tipped bear 33. 33 pre-hit. Pre-hit. Yeah, because like this, yeah, but like you can, but in general, I think that this is better. Like this is like go to plat. The reason I would say, the main reason I would say for staying on the ground here, it has to do with percent. So going to the plat to me is like largely he's at the fair percent anyway. So if we hit tipped fair, we can work with that. If he's lower than that, then I'm not sure I necessarily... If he's lower than, like, say, 20-ish, then I might consider staying on the ground a little bit more, because that'll make him easier to nair.
Right.
It'll be easier to nair and grab, and those are kind of like the big open-ups below the fair percent. But, yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. So you go for this. Gotcha. You were like a hair off. I see. So you wanted to like punish the slide off DI basically.
Yeah, he's so fucking good at slide off. It's impossible to like hit him on the platform.
Have you thought about just like going up there and like grabbing him in some of these spots more?
Yeah, towards the end of the session, I started doing that a lot more.
Okay. This one would have been a difficult one to like go up and grab. Like he would have had counterplay because he doesn't tech roll.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I just wanted to like make sure we were aware of that. So, with that in mind, this all looks good by him. Don't love that. Don't love that recovery. Talking through this choice. What were you trying to do there?
I think I was trying to outmaneuver the back air, which towards the middle of the session, I actually started to go under him as like he would come up with that back air, and I found a lot more success in getting the ledge. But yeah, I think
you kind of cut yourself off with the side B here, right? Like if you do that jump. Is that the idea, or like do you mean just like going even lower?
I mean like going even lower.
Okay, that makes sense.
The reason the recovery happens the way it does like this though is because like that's just like what I'm probably most comfortable with being like the first game of the session, and I'm like,
oh, these are early. These are early games. I see.
Yeah, this is the very first game.
Okay.
So yeah, I figured the first few games of the session were the most back and forth and noticing of each other's habits.
Did you start beating him like towards the end, like by
No.
like? Oh, he beat you?
Yeah. Let me pull up the Slippy. Yeah, most of the games I lost. Towards the end, yeah, it was like I would take one for his 2 or 3.
Okay.
Granted, it was over like 45 minutes, so really it was back and forth for what it is. But
Yeah, I'm just asking for. I'm just curious. Like it's
Yeah.
all good. So let's see here. This is good. So how does the combat work here? So we're light shielding. Love this. Nair. I want to see more nairs at these low percents.
Okay.
More nairs at low percent. Nair and down tilt. More nair and down tilt at low percent. I almost never see like I almost never see Zane go for like fairs unless the opponent's airborne at these like below 20%. Unless and I think it makes sense because like you hit that up air, like up air is another one that he tends to avoid, like below, and this could have worked, like this totally could have worked, but like you have to like it's reliant on you getting the next move, whereas like stuff like Nair just kind of like leads to stuff, you know what I mean?
Sure.
When it's low. But now that he's like at this higher percent, I think that now we can start like it's weird. I feel like we've got some of our percents backwards because now that he's at a higher percent, now you're going for Nairs, but it's like this is where your fair and up air are way better. So it's like
Right.
it's just kind of it feels like slightly backwards.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or do I sound crazy?
No, it does make sense. I like get pretty hesitant to use Nair. Like I'll still spam it because muscle memory, but like I get really hesitant to use Nair because maybe it's the way I apply like drift on my Nairs or my timing with it, but I have the worst time interacting with any of Falco's moves with my Nair. I don't know if somehow like most of the time he ends up like swinging through the first and third hit while the second hit's going backwards, or
No, it's a
if
2
I'm
hit,
just,
so it would be between the first and second hit, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. He's either going in between my hits, or we're just trading in a really weird way. I can't figure it out, but it makes me hate using Nair so much in this matchup.
Is there a Falco you can play against right now? Like if we ask someone to, like, do you think we could get someone to fight us?
Absolutely.
Just we don't need them for long. Just I think that like 10. I just think for 10 minutes, like this is the type of thing we can diagnose.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I can actually hit Joe back up.
Yeah. So let me like look at something real quick. So Zane, Mango. Surely Zane Nares versus Mango some of the time. So let's just take a look while you're messaging. I've pulled something up, and I just want us to look at like some of these just for a moment, because I think. So this is the kind of Nair that you're talking about, where it's like he just kind of gets in on you too quickly, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. But we still see that he's still going for it, though. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it might be that, like, part of the value of Nair, I think, is also that, like, because it's such a move that the enemy Falco doesn't want to get hit by, like, that might be part of its purpose. It might not even be at this level, like, necessarily hitting with it. It might also just be that, like, it forces them to play around something in a very tangible way, which then opens up the other moves. But, like, if we're not representing it at all, then, like, you know, we're not getting any value from it, which is, like, a thing, which is definitely a thing. Let's, like, go to another low percent situation, because I swear to God he does this. There we go! So, like, this is what I'm talking about. So he covers the movement there.
Yeah, okay.
Let's see what we have at this percent. So we don't have a Nair, we have dash attack. Okay, this is just, okay, we're going to skip the cutscene. See what he does here. So calling out movement is where we've seen this thing be successful, and there's another one. And you see how it just instantly creates the tech chase for us to work with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems that, like, using it in the platform positions is an important part of it. Like, using it in platform, like, proximity is an important part of it. By the way, has Joey Donuts gotten back to you?
Joey Donuts did. He is currently streaming a ranked grind, so he's unavailable. However, I am DMing Magi, seeing what she has to say.
Okay, cool. Oh, to be to be a top player to be connected.
I know, it's crazy.
I know. I would have absolutely no idea what that's like whatsoever.
Oh yeah, you would have so many problems getting up to anybody, right?
Yeah. No, can't relate. Worst case scenario, we can, like, does this happen only against, like, top level Falcos, or is this something that happens just kind of in general?
Definitely in general. I've always said any level of Falco could own me, for my skill at this matchup is poor. So.
I mean, worst case scenario, we could probably just pop on unranked or something, or ranked or whatever.
I will attempt one more call.
Sure.
For these Falcos.
Oh wait, I know someone. Give me a second. Is he online?
I got it.
Hell yeah! Who was it?
It is Lumor.
Oh, Lumor. Yeah, I know that guy. Okay, perfect. So, I will pass you my spectator code, and I will spectate.
Awesome. Oh wait, do I have to give you my slippy?
Nope, I give you mine.
Okay. I don't think this all
It's all good. It's all good. It's in the spectator tab. See, it says share, start broadcast. You click that. You plug in my code, then confirm, and that's what we need.
Yep, you're right. I remember how this works now. My net tournament experience. So I can do that.
Perfect. And just let me know when you've plugged that all in. But did you see how like Zane was doing it versus Mango? Like, do you kind of get the idea of like what the alignment is?
I think so. From when I was able to catch the examples you were showing, I think I have a rough idea of what to do. Also, I don't see your code in our DMs.
Did I not send it through? Oh, I sent it to the wrong person. That is dumb of me. Okay, whoopsie daisy. Here you go.
Awesome. Put this person's code in.
Dan, that other learner is going to be like, what the hell are you sending this to me for? And I'll be like, don't worry about it. All right, I can see things.
Awesome.
See how much more damage this gives you than the fair?
Yeah, that was a lot.
So now that he's at the fair percent, now we can start now that he's over 20, we can start spamming fairs and shit and like doing more degen Marth shit.
Right.
So now like we're back to Naring. Now Nair's our friend again because he's at 0.
Okay.
So remember, first 20 damage, we like Nair, fair, and down tilt. We like Nair and down tilt a lot more for the first like down tilt doesn't come up as much just because he jumps so damn much, but like yeah, we like the pokey moves that like kind of have more power to them and more like lateral range.
Right.
Stuttering with your wavelengths off the platform there. Like you went into crouch and then like you took a second, so you didn't hold forward long enough.
Okay. Good to know. Just wondering why that might have happened.
Yep. So basically, like you're not holding forward enough to go off the platform like smoothly. So then you stop and enter crouch, and then you kind of like go forward and down that after. So it's just an input thing.
Gotcha.
Remember, when we're power shielding facing away, we want to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
Yep. Don't stay in the fight if you don't have to. The biggest thing is it's like early percents we want to be nairing more, and then like, yep, and then like aside from that, it's just like, yeah, just back off more when you're in like back off more when you're like in a bad fight position, especially if you're facing away.
Understood.
Try dash attacking him more. It's like for your
Okay.
overshoots. Dash attack knocks over at 0, by the way.
Hmm?
Dash attack knocks... Marth dash attack knocks over at 0, so, like, you don't... There isn't a % restriction on when it's good.
Okay.
Getting closer when he grabs the edge. Force his hand more. Because he's getting away with, like, all these, like, double lasers and stuff, but, like, we can just be close enough to, like, pressure those.
Okay.
Yeah. So when he grabs the edge, like, especially on defense, don't back up all the way to middle.
Got it.
Nicely done. Okay. Push him more. Like, push him more off the stage with your combos. More like soft fair, like, especially, like, when he's already in the air.
Okay. Oh, why this way?
And how are you finding this? Is this is this making sense as we're doing it, or?
Yeah, it's helping me see the spots more in real time.
Okay. Good. There you go. Like, I would never have up-aired him there. And I'm not saying you would have. I'm just saying that, like, that's the type of that's what I mean by, like, push him off the stage more.
Right.
Because we have, like, we don't kill Falco by doing, like, 1,000,000 damage to him. We kill Falco by, like, putting him below the stage and gimping him.
Right.
Ah, okay. So I think I see the thing with your nairs. So, like, try to do the nair as fast as you can coming up, like, almost every time, and then just fast fall as soon as you can.
Okay.
It's like a speed thing, I think, on a lot of these.
Got it.
Or if you, like, and if for each frame you delay the nair, delay the fast fall by that amount. Like, you want them to be, like, really tight, though. Because, like, the idea is that, like, the first swing is protecting us as we're coming up, and then the second swing is, like, protecting us coming down. But that means that we have to be doing the first swing while we're rising.
Right. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Who's the Falco in your path? Dang, that was good by him. That's okay. We got this. Hell yeah. Ah, so you see how, like, your nairs are having to L cancel them? That's basically what we're trying to avoid.
Okay.
We're trying, like, you almost never want to L cancel Nair. Having to L cancel Nair means that we did them too late. So Nair is almost never a move we do on reaction. It's almost always a preempt.
Okay.
Because the thing is, like, we care more about, like, having hitbox presence where we need it. Yeah, like, we care more about having Nair's hitbox where we need it, and then if he lasers, we're just going to take Laser Fair anyway, or take Laser Waveland or whatever. So the Nair is more of, like, the value of the Nair is not like the reactive part, it's the proactive part.
Okay.
In general, Falco rewards you for being, like, proactive and preemptive. Like, you don't really react to him in a lot of spots. Like, you do, but you also don't. Because, like, the lasers are applying a debuff to you to, like, slow you down. So we don't have the luxury of being able to, like, react as well as we normally do.
Right, that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah. See, like, you see how you just had that Nair out where you needed it, and it just kind of, like, did its job?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly. And we're still getting value out of these things, like, when we do it that way. That's the idea.
And, you know, I can literally feel myself, like, trying to input it faster. So, you're definitely on this. You're on to a lot of things here.
I was very good at this game once upon a time. Fun fact, some of PPMD's laser theories that are still posted on Smashboards, I proofread them. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, I was a real nerd.
Cool. That's cool. We need real nerds. We don't need the fake nerds.
Fake nerds suck because they're like the astrology people of like like fake nerds are like, you just have to believe in the ECB, and it's like, and it's just like, okay, yeah, but like, can you explain how? And they're like, no, you just have to believe. And I'm like,
God damn, do I know these 3 letters, and that's about it.
I'm like, This is the wackiest finisher I've seen in a hot minute.
I tried to do an up B, and I guess I just kind of got goofy with it.
Mm-hmm. I can see your decision making. Like, your decision making is clearly like changing. Like, yeah, like, see how you got that nair and you're just like, granted he had good DI, but you can totally see how, like, now after you hit those nairs, down tilt sometimes. So, like, especially if he's far away from you, because then you are done your, like, if you get that nair into down tilt, you are done your early % damage building. You can then start looking for, like, fares at that point, like, tipped fares at that point, and they'll knock him over. So, like, you're the hard part of the matchup is done in one opening.
Damn. That's so beautiful.
Honestly, if there's one thing I'm really thankful for Sheik, it's teaching me, like, the value of structure with how you do your early game, because it's like, her early game fucking sucks. But if you can find, like, that needle to aerial to, like, aerial setup or whatever, like, man, life is so much easier. Nice fast fall. Beautiful. I like how you did your edge grab there, so that you were invincible for the full duration of his up B. So he can't actually, like, contest you.
It's good stuff.
When you do that versus Fox, it's like, you feel like such a god. It's like, you're out for, like, your hitbox is out for, like, 30 frames, and none of it matters.
Exactly. It's like, finally, you get what you deserve.
Let's not say things we can't take back. If Fox got what he deserved, like... Actually, no, he kind of does eventually, but it takes, like, a year or two for them to break their hands. No kidding.
True! Yeah, but then they switch to Zump or Box, and then what do we have?
Do you not believe in Zump?
I believe in it. I don't think it's that evil. Some people definitely think it's the second coming of the devil
Yeah.
or something. But I'm like, I don't know. I rock an OEM without notches. I just like, I like to feel entitled to calling people cheaters.
I rock a fob without notches, so I
That's
only
real.
I only like mildly cheat.
True. The day I stop tournament wondering it will be a good day.
Just like, you know, Falco doesn't really challenge the edge grab all that well. Just take a second to, if you're finding you're in that spot, just take a second to like, yeah, refresh once to recalibrate yourself. It's totally fine. Okay. What's he gonna do? Laser you?
True.
Yeah. Like, it won't help you versus characters that aren't Falco, but like, against him, this is one of the like the luxuries of it.
True.
Because, like, the only way he challenges, like, the edge grab is really by coming over there and taking the edge, or by, like, down airing. But both of those are pretty risky, and it's not likely that he's going to do either of them on, like, his first, like, beat.
Right. Oops. See ya.
That would have been a good idea. Assuming that's what I think it was. You were trying to just snap to the edge, right?
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Get out of there.
Oh. I thought maybe.
I think if you like air dodged like straight up, you might have actually gotten that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So I think that when we're on the platform, one thing I notice is that we get like we're not sure how to like leave the platform a lot of the time. Let's try to like not just shield drop into our opponent, but also like wave dash off the platform into like fairs.
Okay.
Like wave dash back, or just go over and past him. And just take center stage, or like defend by moving back. So like you see how you did that how you did that shield drop fair, because of like try to keep him so that it aligns so that we're hitting him with the tip of our fair. So that means like wave dashing back. Wave dashing back is preferred to like shield dropping in place if it means that we keep that alignment.
Okay.
Try to down air less as well. Like, down air's good at low percents, but like we're doing it at percents where like the fair also knocks him over. If fair knocks him over, I just think that like fair is just ultimately the better move, unless we like confirm that he's actually crouching or something.
Okay.
Yeah, because like fair just does so much more.
Oopsies.
It's all good. I think we will play maybe one more game with him after this one, and then we're gonna like dig into like maybe one or two of these to get some insights.
Okay.
Because I think that these will be better matches for us to look at. Because you have more like because you have more stuff that's happening in them, and like you're implementing more things. It's more about where he runs. You want the sword in the spot he runs off into, not you in the spot he runs off into.
Okay.
Like on Nair specifically, like you want to be a little bit further back from the platform, or yeah, just like a little bit. You want him to fall onto the sword basically.
Okay.
What's the spacing you want versus lasers? Like, when ideally speaking, where do you want to be relative to Falco when he's in neutral? Do you have an idea on that?
No.
Okay, so
I feel like I'm never able to control it.
gotcha. So we're gonna actually play with him more. This is the other thing we're gonna work on. So I want you to imagine like Falco's dash jump, like how far his dashing short hop goes, like his immediate dash short hop goes. We want to find a way to get into about halfway away. We want to be about half that away from him, but we want to find our way there without getting hit by a laser.
Okay.
So we want to be aggressive, and if we're not able to be in that spot, we want to be about 1.5 of those away from him. Because then he can't approach us without like a commitment. Do you see what I mean?
I think so, yeah.
So there we got caught in that range while getting hit by a laser, so that's no good. There we were at that range, but he then shot us and approached. So we want to be, yeah, exactly. You're getting that. This is the right idea. So remember, half a short hop, half of one of his short hops away without getting hit is like the offensive spacing we want. And then like the defensive spacing we want is 1.5 of those away. Yeah, like where you are, like exactly. And we'll use the platform to like kind of like move, like find the middle points to like approach from. Because remember, he controls the ground well, but like that's another place, another way that we can like flip the script on him. Don't be afraid to use your double jump to like hang in the air either. Nicely done. Okay, let's actually fight him for a few more. How did that spacing feel, though, when you achieved it?
It felt good.
Just good? Like,
sorry, my brain is overloaded.
No! You just take a breath, and then fight him. We'll worry about the debrief after.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say we're slightly when we're on offense, we're slightly too far back. We want to be like a hair closer to him.
Okay.
But you have the right idea. Like you're playing in the right spacings. It's just that like you're playing in the right general spacing. It's just that he's good too. So like when you're a hair off, when you're a hair too far away, like we need to be adjusting to him too.
Okay.
Because he's using his drift and stuff. Like, he's controlling his micro, too, to, like, drift back. So we just have to be aware of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. If at any point you're overloaded, just take a breath and just, like, yeah, just, you know how to do this, though. I know this because I've seen you do it. So take a breath, mentally reset, and, like, yeah, proceed. Beautiful. Got us. All right, last one, and then the last 5 minutes we'll like talk about these games. Fancy, Mr. Fancy over here.
What can I say? I need a little bit.
It's a friendly. I'm not going to judge you for that.
Hell yeah. You should actually charge me double every time I go for stupid shit like that.
I don't believe in like I don't believe in that kind of conditioning. Like ethically, I don't think it works. It's not even like an ethics thing. Like it is an ethics thing, kind of, but like it's also that I just don't think it's effective. Like more like the bigger issue I have with it is that it sucks. So it's like perfect. GG's him and like let him know thank you for your help. So let's talk about like once you're done that, let's talk about the things that what you noticed. So like when you were fighting him with like more aggressive, like the more aggressive spacing when you're on offense, how did you feel that went? Like, and what are your thoughts about like how did it feel really? Like what did you notice when you were fighting him a little differently?
It definitely felt like when I was able to land the nairs at those lower percents, like, it felt a lot better. It felt like I wasn't getting, like, counter hit out of the nairs as much as I do if I go for those stupid low percent fairs. But
let's not call them stupid. Let's just call them low percent fair.
Right. Fair enough. It still felt extremely difficult for me to, like, apply it and, like, see the range. Obviously, this is my first time really trying to apply it, but it still felt like a struggle. The ranges that you were talking about with the defensive and the offensive play being a half a short hop and a laser, right? And then the other being a 1.5 short hop and a laser for defensive.
Yeah.
I struggled to, like, I think subconsciously I could bring myself to play that spot, or at least get myself in those locations, but to, like, look at the screen and truly understand what I was doing, I don't think it was quite there.
That's okay. So let's look at these two people playing for a second, because I feel like this comes up a lot with them. let's see what we see here with when we look at what spacings they keep. So like, let's slow this down a bit and just look at this, because I think it'll be easier to see if I point it out here. So like, this spacing that we start the match on is kind of like exactly the kind of spacing that I would be referring to. So like here. So Mango comes forward with his laser, and like you see how with the spot that, let's say Mango is just like, so when Mango comes forward with this laser and Zane swats him out of it, the spacing he creates is this kind of like, is that inside the jump spacing. Because if Mango short hop lasers, right, where does he go? He's actually kind of nice in that he does one right after. He goes a little bit past Zane. So like this distance here is one short hop laser. So what I'm saying is Marth wants to be a little bit in between that. So he's like, Falco's hittable with his sword. That's really all I mean by that. So like you see how like that is like giving Zane a lot more presence in the match than if he were to like say hang out at the edge of Falco's approach zone like we do versus Fox. Cause like because it's kind of interesting, like, because on the one hand, like, and this is where a lot of these nairs come in. Because what the nair is doing is, like, in that at least that last one, it cuts off Mango's jump as he's going up for it. So, like, this is what I mean by when I say that, like, Marth wants to be somewhat proactive in this matchup. Because the nature of Falco is that Falco kind of, like, wins if he's given time to do things. If Falco is given the time to, like, do his Falco shit, he's actually quite capable of defeating Marth. It's when but Marth doesn't have to give him that. You wind up gambling more. Like I will concede that. But you can see how like in the long run, like this kind of like Mango wins his first game. But like I think we can see as the set goes on, like like these gambles start to favor Zane just because Marth hits Falco so much harder than vice versa.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting way to think about it, because I think we normally think of, like, Marth as the neutral dominant character. But, like, I would say in this matchup, it's kind of like, the roles are kind of flipped on him, but, like, in a way that's actually quite good for Marth. Does this make does this make a little bit more sense, though, as to why I'm, like, kind of, like, encouraging this direction?
Yes, no, as I, like, can actually see the spacing, as you're talking about it, it makes a lot more sense. Like, I can clearly see how close to Mango Zane is, like, aiming to play.
Yeah, and why? And, like, it's not just...
it allows him... Oh, yeah.
No, I'm gonna say, and you can see why, but, like, I'm not asking you. I know you know. But, like, if you want to give me your answer, by all means, go ahead. I think the audience would love to. Sure.
No, I think...
Prove you know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Well, I mean, being at that range allows Zane to be on top of Falco should he gamble correctly, in a sense. Like, he's able to avoid a lot of Falco's, offensive pressure if he were to be right next to him, but he's not far enough away where he can't challenge him. That's kind of my understanding of it, and that's what I think I'm gathering. And
yeah. The other thing I would say is like look at how much pressure Mango is under, even now that Zane is like at this further distance. Because like before, like if Zane is always hanging out at this kind of like far spacing, Mango knows to just shoot the laser over here and just do low laser, high laser, and he's fine. But like, or high laser, low laser, like low laser then high laser, and he's fine. But because Zane is so willing to challenge the low laser by like jumping around it, by jumping around it or whatever, it's not Mango then has to wave dash into him with his back air to contest him, and look at how dangerous of a spot that winds up being for him.
Right.
Like it's also that like it forces Mango to think about self-defense options differently than just doing like the standard anti-Marth laser pattern. Marth doesn't like it. I think Marth doesn't like it when Falco has control of like neutral, because then they both kind of want to be imposing the same thing on the other. Like they're both characters that normally dominate mid-range fighting. So from Falco's perspective, he's like, I don't really have a good way to like encroach on Marth without the gun. So I kind of need to like find a way to make the gun work. So then like from Marth's perspective, he's like, knowing that, I want to be making the gun like as unappealing as humanly possible. And the way to do that is I need to kind of like play like a much more aggressive spacing than I normally would. But the reward is that if I do successfully do that, then Falco is made of glass, so I can just kind of beat the shit out of him. And then from Falco's perspective, he's like, okay, but I've got the safer moves on shield and stuff, so like I do want to contest Marth here. But then Marth is like, but I've got the better movement, so then I just like move around you. Or I just compete you with hitboxes. And I think that's why Marth is probably overall favored in this matchup. It's just like the way that the two, like he has like slightly better ways of gambling essentially. But like if he's not using those things, I can imagine like the matchup feels miserable with Marth. So it's like, yeah.
That's how I would describe it every time. I'm always miserable playing against the Falco. It's always been like the biggest struggle consistently throughout my career.
Yeah, so like what I'm gonna say for takeaways is really the big one is like, we really want we want to internalize and build comfort, fighting, fighting out like in that 0.5 short hop, Falco short hop, no dash short hop spacing, and build comfort, internalize and build comfort, entering and fighting fighting inside that 0.5 Falco's dash short hop spacing. We want to internalize and build comfort, fighting outside that 1.5 Falco dash short hop spacing. And then I think the main thing I would flag on each of these is that like this will involve, for the first one, it's like this will involve like being comfortable placing our nairs, at low percent, at sub 20% in spots that are advantageous, that catches him for moving or jumping. And then I would also add this will involve, I would say like cleaning up the power shields. Cleaning up the power shields we go for in this. The power shields. The power shields we go for in this spot. We go for in this spot. Ideally, we want to face him more. At this spacing. Then I would say the last big thing is just nair into down tilt. Nair into down tilt versus DI away, or nair into nair slash fair, nair into down tilt or nair into nair slash fair versus DI away, to build that initial 20%. And the last thing I will say to that is the other one, overshoot dash attack good. Dash attack is good. Dash attack good. And then the last bit I would point out there is, goal is to find a way into the 0.5 spacing without getting hit by laser. And I think those are like the big things. Is there anything else you want to kind of grab from today that we want to make sure is flagged in the takeaways? In the meantime, I'm just going to cut the recording just so we don't go too far over, but